you?
Hi. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming.
All right, so Mark, you want to greet them also?
Yeah, thanks for coming and belated Happy Mother's Day.
Oh yes, to all the mothers in the house, belated. Okay, so Ms. Risa, both of you are looking so gorgeous. Parang na-conscious tuloy ako. Kulang ako sa gorgeousness kasi ang gaganda ng speakers
Mga
natin.
office mates kami.
Yes.
Ganyan talaga sa office namin.
Lahat sila magaganda. Okay, katens. Okay, katens ako bigla.
Makita nyo kami ng ordinary days, hindi ganito.
Yeah.
Hindi kami sa itsura namin. Ngayon mga kami tao.
Pag press ko, bilang transformation. Alright, pero si Miss Risa, di ba? I'm sure nakikita niyo na siya sa commercials. So let's start off with Risa. First question. Parang Miss Universe. Okay, Miss Risa, I know that you have been writing a lot of books that cater to single people, particularly single women. And I could relate with her books kasi like her, I was single for the longest time. First question lang, how old were you when you got married?
I got married at the Jurassic age of 38.
Jurassic, ouch, kasi ako 39.
Jurassic pa!
Sorry.
Actually, nung panahon ko, nung kinasal ako, parang everybody was, kasi at that time I was already writing for Kerigma, and yeah, for the longest time,
Yeah.
I was single, and then people were saying, oh, okay lang tayo maging single, kasi si Risa single pa. Then when I announced I was getting married, lahat sila nagbali, kailangan na yan maghanap ng boyfriend. Kasi si Risa! Parang gano'n. So at that time, 38 was parang, woo, but then yeah, after that, yeah, a lot of my friends, you know, a number of my friends got married even later or are still waiting to get married.
Still
after
single?
38. Yeah.
Can I just do a quick show of hands? Who are the single people in the house? Can you be proud to show that you're single? That's pretty much half of the people, including Christine, no? That's half of the group.
More than half na.
Mentor, okay? So that's more than half of the people in the room, so I would suggest listen carefully to this interview and read the books that you have in your press kit. So question natin para kay Ms. Riza, who was single for 38 years, what was the best part of being single?
Wow, the best part of being single was that I was able to do so many things that maybe, you know, people who married early could not do. Because I was able to travel a lot. I traveled the world. I was actually a full-time missionary for like practically 20 years before I got married. So I was, you know, I was traveling around the Philippines. I was serving the Lord, giving camps, giving retreats, seminars, you know, in the Philippines and in abroad. And I know that I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was married and if I had kids, diba?
Yes.
So I saw God's purpose in that. And yeah, as a single person, that's your gift. Eh. I see it as a gift of a season of your life. Because when you move on to the next season, which is marriage and hopefully motherhood, diba?
Yes.
Wala, iba na yan eh. You're tied down. I remember when I got married and soon after I got pregnant and then had two babies, one after the other. Parang, I felt like I was grounded. Grounded meaning, hindi ka pwedeng lumabas ng bahay.
Nakulong sa bahay
Yeah.
nila.
And then my friends na who were before, sila yung iniiwan ko because I was on mission, I would travel.
Yeah.
Sila yung umaalis and they were on mission and they were traveling and I was, wow, that used to be me. But then now I'm here to have to take care of my kids and ano. So it's really a season of your life eh. So when you're single, there's really so many things that you can do that you probably won't have the chance to do when you get married.
So that encourages the single people here to stay single longer. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Take advantage of the single.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Take advantage of your singlehood, your single life. So, Ms. Risa, yeah, di ba? Karili ng pagka-single. So, I have a question. How important is it to be happy while you're single? Or what does it mean to be happy while you're still single?
You know, people people put conditions on their happiness. Diba? I'll be happy when I get married. I'll feel fulfilled when I'm married. And I used to think like that when I was single. So, ay, siguro, when I meet the one, I'll be happier. Or my life will be full. And then, until it took so long to meet him, and I realized, wait, why am I putting my life on hold? Singleness is not a pause in your life. Diba? You know, why will I put my traveling to that place on hold. I'll save that for my honeymoon. I'll save that, that trip when I want to go there with my husband. Why don't you go there now? You can't go there now. So sometimes we put conditions on our happiness when actually we can be happy now. We can be happy today. And singleness is it's a happy state. It's a fulfilled state. So that's I guess that's one of the messages that my books contain on singlehood. That live a full life, whether you're single or married or whatever state of life you're in. So yeah. So sorry. So it's important to be happy as a single because you won't be a happy married person if you are not a happy single. That's what
I actually heard about that one. They say daw na married life just amplifies who you are when you're single.
Yeah, because when you think you will be happy when you find your husband or your wife, you're putting the condition of your happiness on that person. That person has the burden to make you happy, to make you complete. Hindi pwede.
That won't work.
When you have to be complete as a single person, so that when you come into a marriage, you're whole and you have something to give from your wholeness, hindi from your emptiness or from your halfness. Di ba?
Panananggal ang happiness. Okay. Alright. Nakaka-relate ba ang mga nakikinig na singles dito? Parang nakatawa sila. Okay. My next question, medyo nakatawa ko dito. Can you give us tips on how to find a person, kasi nakalagay sa script ko, a person who's worthy of dating? Ako, I'd like to modify the question a bit by asking, can you give us tips on finding the right person to date?
Yeah.
Or to even have a second date, diba? Okay.
I think single people fall into two extremes. One is they date or they look for a lifetime partner without a non-negotiable list. Parang, sige, tira, kahit sino, game. Parang ganon. The other end of the pendulum is they have this non-negotiable list that's so strict, so stringent, that even the color of the eyes are specified, and the height, and the color of the skin, so that whenever a suitor or a prospect comes along, palaging, ay hindi, kasi hindi siya 6'2" eh. No, so, 6'footer lang siya. I know a lot of women who are like that. I know because they email me and they ask me for advice. So,
What's the disadvantage of that one?
Because it's impractical. It's impractical to, it's Hollywood. It's Hollywood. I think these things when you have, he has to be Caucasian, he has to be 6 feet, he has to have blue eyes. And I'm not exaggerating. I know some women who specify these things. He has to be, a multi-millionaire. He has to be driving a certain kind of car. It's impractical because that's James Bond. That exists only in
Sinong James Bond?
exactly, diba? Sinong James Bond?
Alin sa kanila?
It's a Hollywood fiction. So you have to find the middle ground between, you have to understand what non-negotiable means. Non-negotiable means, hindi mo pwede talagang bawasan yung listahan. Yung blue eyes, hindi mo tanggalin sa list yun. Diba? Kasi hindi naman...
May contacts naman.
Oh, diba? I mean, those are things. So I think when you talk about non-negotiables, when you're a single person and you're looking to date, I think non-negotiables should be qualities of a person, diba? And when you talk about a suitable lifetime partner, I think there are basic qualities that a man or a woman should have. Dapat responsible, dapat emotionally stable, diba? Hindi addict, that can hold a decent job, diba? Especially if you're a woman looking for a male partner, syempre, kailangan he has to be able to provide for the family. So dapat mabait meaning, kind, hindi wife beater, hindi emotional, physically abusive or emotionally or verbally abusive. So these are...
I hope you keep people in the house are taking notes. This also applies to men who are looking for wives.
Exactly, yeah.
Kasi may mga babae din na husband beater.
Yes.
Verbal, seriously, verbal
Yeah.
abuse. Okay.
Diba? So yun. So, knowing that, then you should also look for, if you're looking for a good partner, yung nga ang tawag ko doon husband material or wife material, then you should look in the good places din, di ba? Example, like a friend of mine, she's in her late 30s, and after she's exhausted all her her contacts, na-date na niya lahat, mga pinsan ng kapitbahay, ng kapatid niya, at ng whatever niya. Diba? Parang, so she started going into online dating, which for me is a neutral thing. It's a good, I think now, you really, the studies in the last Singles of America survey says that people who go online for dates date more, far, far, far more than people who don't go online. Why? Because it's just easier to meet people online.
So, ang Tinder ba ito?
Yeah, so this friend of mine, she joined Tinder, and then after a while, she said, well, I don't think this is for me, maybe it's for a younger set. I'm not, you don't have to write the name of the website, but her experience was, she found men her age who were not single anymore. Some of them were married, and still in a relationship, and looking
for someone?
Yeah. So parang for her, because she wants somebody who's a good partner, then she saw that this is not a good place to meet a suitable partner, then she stopped going there na. Diba? So sometimes, like, if you want example lang, in my life, because I'm not the bar kind of girl, when I was looking for a lifetime partner, I started joining singles retreats and singles seminars in the different Catholic communities that I knew.
Ganon. So, naikot mo lahat.
Naikot ko lahat. Nakaabot ako Boracay. Nakaabot ako ng Tagaytay. Kasi,
Proactive.
yeah, because I know that I probably won't like a guy who I will meet in a bar. Because first of all, I don't drink. And I don't think I want a guy who drinks, parang, or who has vices. I wanted a guy who didn't have vices. So if I go to a bar, what kind of guy will I meet there? Well, I mean, I'm not judging all the men there, but you know what I mean, diba? So if you want somebody who's athletic, then go to, join triathlons, join a gym, join, some sports, some mountain climbing, diba? So parang you have to shoot it to your interest. If you want an intellectual, you want a writer, you want a thinker, then maybe enroll in a master's degree or take up some course or whatever. So you have to look at the right place.
Huwag naman sila pumasok sa library kasi malabo naman na. Di ba? Pasok sila ng volleyball, baka makalala sila.
Gusto mo ng bookworm.
Okay, I love it because my next question was actually about that one. Can you share with us some of the challenges that you had when you were looking for the one? So dating kasi
kulang ang 15 minutes ko.
Sige. One major challenge you had.
Well, siguro the major challenge for me was my age. Kasi I started dating, as I shared with you, I was a full-time servant missionary for many years. So when I started dating, I was already in my 30s. So syempre, when you're in your 30s, by then, my classmates, my batchmates were all married na, they had kids already, and I was just beginning to date. So imagine you start dating. I had my first boyfriend at the age of 33. So, diba, parang at that age, medyo the men are already, most of them have settled down. So that was the challenge for me, and that's why I have a burden for single people, especially in the older. That's why my first book that I wrote was Confessions of an Impatient Bride, because I know how it feels to be waiting and and parang finally, yes, may nadapa, may nagkamali, tapos hindi naman natuloy, di ba? Parang, so I guess that's the challenge of women who are in their 30s already. Parang when you're younger kasi, you meet a lot of, and all of you are single. And that's statistically, even statistically, that's, you will meet the most number of possible mates when you're in college. And, after college, the number of new people you meet just declines sharply because, because of that, just the work situation, di ba? Because when you start working, ilan lang ba naman, di ba? I mean, unless you work in a multinational that hires hundreds or thousands of people, but still, even if you work for a multinational, sino ang nakakasama mo? It's still the people in your office pa rin, or your department, na ilan lang yun, di ba? Marami na yung 15. Di ba? Hindi mo naman nakakausap yung mga ibang tao. You don't get to encounter people in the other departments. So yun. So I guess that's the challenge of especially a woman or single, even men. I hear them. When they reach a certain age, in their 30s, mid-30s, late 30s, it gets challenging. Kasi, syempre, lumiliit yung choices mo.
I should introduce to you my male friends who are like in their 40s. Baka pwede mo silang matulungan.
Yeah.
They're still single.
Yeah.
Mga nila pero single pa rin. So now that you've found your one true love, after 13 years of searching and waiting, can you share with us any tips on how you're able to maintain or keep the relationship alive?
I think finding your one true love is a continuous process. I don't think I don't know if, well, me, I did used to believe in, love at first sight, and I still don't. I think love grows. Love, if I judge my husband from the first sight, baka hindi ko siya bibigyan ng second date. Diba? He's not bad looking.
Magaling yung napili mo.
Medyo na siya.
Very good.
Kapag asawa ko.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, you need to get to know a person to love a person. The more you know someone, the more you love that person. So, sometimes you meet someone and, okay lang, nothing great. But then as you meet that person, ay, grabe, ang ganda pala niya sa loob. Ay, grabe, ang bait pala niya. Oh, wow, he's so generous, or she's so thoughtful. Tapos, nahuhulog ka. Kaya di ba sinasabi nila, nahuhulog ka na ba? Diba? Because as you get to know a person, then you realize, wow, this person can be a lifetime partner. And the more you get to know that person, wow, then later you find yourself, this is the kind of person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So I think it's something, it's growth every day. And then, of course, when you're married already, the hard work doesn't stop. I think it just gets harder because it takes hard work to make a good marriage. And I always say, Bo Sanchez has a fantastic marriage, but he really works hard at it. I mean, some people will say, grabe naman, napaka-demanding naman, dami mo kailangan gawin para maging masaya yung marriage ko. But yeah, you need to do it. You need to have a happy marriage. It doesn't just happen. Happy marriages don't just happen. The couple both have to work towards it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So, I think that's it for my questions for Ms. Risa. Can we give her a round of applause? We'll go back to Ms. Risa later if you have any questions for her. Na-inspire ba kayo? Mga single people in the house? Okay, yes. Our next speaker is inspired. That's why I'm going to send it to you already. So, Ms. Marge, or Ms. I'd like to call you Marge na lang, no? So, si Ms. Marge, my first question for you. In your book, you highlighted the importance of loving and healing yourself first in order to love other people best. So, what were the experiences that you had that helped strengthen this thinking?
I guess from childhood kasi, I learned, I didn't know how to love myself because I came from a broken family and I felt broken too. But as a result of that, I felt very insecure, or I felt unwanted or unloved. So I did not know, or for some people kasi it comes naturally, loving themselves. But me, I did not really feel it or experience it. That's why I did not know how it was. So, and then when I was growing up, I was looking for it in the wrong places. Parang to fill the emptiness. So I went into relationships that were not healthy for me. I was parang I was codependent. This was in college.
What do you
I
mean
was-
by
Parang
codependent?
you're getting the love from another person. You're very needy. You're not really loving. You're needing this person to fill your emptiness or your identity. Parang you feel love because he loves you. You know, parang ganun. You feel like you find your worth because this person loves you.
And then what's
Yeah,
happened?
yeah, it completes you.
Jerry Maguire lang talaga ang big. And then what did you realize from that? Because
Yeah.
now you're single? Are you
Yes.
single? So you said that during those times you were finding people or guys who would love you to fill that void or that gap. So what made you realize that that wasn't the right situation or right relationship?
Because this relationships will start out well, but in the end, I would feel more broken inside because I feel, clingy or needy or jealous without any reason. So it was not very healthy. It was not life-giving. Parang it did not bring out the best in me. I was always parang, worried or anxious, things like that, those negative thoughts. It did not parang help me as a person grow. It always, parang I felt stuck in those relationships, and I felt this was not the kind of relationship that I wanted. I was merely repeating what I grew up in, parang gano'n. So parang it was a pattern.
How were you able to pinpoint that brokenness in you? Or what made you realize that, ay, teka, sandali lang, parang ito na yung nangyari dun sa mga magulang ko. What was that light bulb moment that made you realize that you were going through a pattern?
And it was a process. For me, there was just this moment when it was God who made me realize I was doing something wrong. It was not what He wanted me to have. Because I dream of a happy family, but I didn't know what it was like. But He sent me friends who had that kind of family. So when I was with them, ganito pala, having a father, or this is how you love as a child or as a parent loves your child. I dream of that, having that for myself. And having those relationships, I knew, gut feel inside your soul that it was not healthy. And from those broken relationships, one time I was so brokenhearted. I didn't know if I was ever going to get well. Parang ganun. Parang you felt broken-hearted.
Sino dito lang experience ng broken-heartedness? Taas ang kamay?
Yeah, physically. Yeah.
Aminin ko yan, di ba?
You didn't want to wake up, you feel depressed.
Yeah.
Parang, nakarelate ka din.
Pwede ikulong mo na lang sarili mo sa bedroom the whole day in self-pity, no?
Super sad na
Yeah.
it was, looking back, parang nakakatawa na siya, pero at that time, you really feel na parang it was rock bottom, like, parang you don't want to live or something. Parang you feel lost and then more broken.
More broken and more empty. So, during those times na, hindi ko natatayin kung ilang beses ka na heartbroken. But we all agree, during the times when our heart became broken, medyo rock bottom na talaga yung tinatawag doon. So what helped you mend that state of being in rock bottom or mend that state of brokenness? How were you able to rise up and move forward? That's where you mentioned
I just remembered.
Sige na, baguhin ko yung question. So how?
How?
Yes, oo.
I share it in the book. It's in the first chapter. There was this moment I was talagang nagdadrama na sa floor. As in, parang-
Sample.
Lupasay factor ka, no?
Parang I was super yun sad. Tapos meron sa radio na play yung Make a Sweet which was Psalm 84. Parang how lovely is your, it sang, sorry, how lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord, mighty God, Lord of all. So I
Hello, Kadilis.
I felt God sing that song for me. Because I feel that's how He communicates with me, through songs or through books.
Alright.
And then I felt, I don't know how to say it, it's grace, na Mars, you don't have to be like that. Parang I am here. And I felt the love of God in my heart. I felt God loved me that moment. So He introduced Himself to me as my Father. And that began my healing. I started reading the Bible. And then one of the very first verses that struck me, that gave me, that parang God taught me how to love myself. I would say that. He said first, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So He changed the way I think by filling my mind with the truth that He sees in me. So those were parang I immersed myself in those words na in the Bible says, you are wonderfully made. You are made in my image and likeness. And God makes masterpieces, not trash, you know. And parang He changed my mind by changing the way I thought. It changed me also. I began to hope and to really love myself and see myself the way God sees me. This is the truth. Because for a long time, I believed the lies that I heard na you're not good enough, you're not valuable, you're not worthy. Those are garbage. Yeah, those are garbage.
You know, it's interesting, Marge, that you mentioned that because you're not worthy or wala kang kwenta, sometimes people would hear that when they're growing up, from their family, their relatives, their parents, sometimes that negative self-thought nanggagaling mismo dun sa tao. Posible, di ba? Sa'yo ba, did you hear people say you're not worthy or it was something you thought of na ikaw, you personally judged yourself?
There were moments, yes, but parang I built on what I heard kasi parang there was verbal abuse during when I was growing up. But parang I meditated on it, which is the opposite of positive, negative thinking. Diba yung it's meditating pa rin on a negative thought that's worrying. So you build on that, which it was like a broken foundation.
So
to know.
you were saying that your negative thoughts came from what you used to hear. Would you also have any tips for parents? There are parents in the house? Parents, you know mga parents, yeah. So for the parents in the house, what is it that you can share with them to help make sure that they don't pass these negative thoughts or beliefs to the children? Meron ka bang maipapayo? Meron kang na-realize about it?
Love yourself.
It's really
Fix yourself, and there's this I Proverbs po ba or song? The power, it's in the power. Life is in the power of the tongue. Yep. It's when what you say gives life or destroys. So every time you feel you're going to see something bad, pero hold yourself, control yourself.
Parang control your tongue, parang gano'n.
Yes, and sometimes we get tempted to do that when we're very tired or we're exhausted or we're So I guess this is where loving yourself comes to play. Na parang you should take care of yourself so you don't have to be at that point. Get to that point, get to that point when you're pushed to your limits and you just burst and say things that you do not mean, that hurt the child, but in parenting naman po, parang diba, you don't have a workbook on that. But the Bible is the workbook. You would know how to train your child just reading what God says about the truth about, how to love others. So when you love yourself, actually, I should say, as God loves you, because it's about receiving God's love. And then, because you know how to love yourself the way God does, you receive that love, you know how to give that kind of love to your children.
Beautiful. Marge, my last question for you. How were you able to distinguish love coming from God versus love coming from a relationship, like a boyfriend? Nakita mo, na-feel mo yung difference?
Opo, parang
When talagang opo, no?
sige po,
Okay po.
thank you po.
Kasi mo na lang ako.